A lot of people don't think about not just history, largely, but all the histories, like the many histories that are in a place.
Illuminations Human Nature is an interactive, immersive artwork experience related to the idea of dissolving boundaries between nature and human existence. In Banff, we focused on human intervention and human relationship, so we illuminate those narratives. And then Rouge, it's in the middle of an urban environment, and it seems like kind of strange even to think about this ecosystem, but it's quite diverse, so we really focused on those narratives at the Rouge site.
The Rouge National Urban Park being the newest park in Canada, and Banff National Park being, of course, the oldest park in Canada, so it kind of ties together.
In this experience, you have a role to play, you have a quest, and now that was quite interesting to see a group of 15 people first know each other. One of the goals is to push innovation of participation on an art piece installation.
The fires contribute to the cycle of rejuvenation, providing space for new plants that cannot break through dense brush.
I think simplicity is complex, so how to make this simple for the user and tell story in short amount of time so everyone can experience it was quite difficult to imagine.
And the goal was pretty ambitious in the beginning, do an experience in the forest with portable device without using electricity.
So we have the lantern. The lantern is the guide for the group, so it activates the zone when you put it on the activation spot. The backpack, it carries the sound of the experience, so the music, the voiceover. And finally we have the navigation projector and the map. So the map is basically a white canvas, and they can see their position and the station that they just visited.
With the Lake Minnewanka site particularly, I was interested in the history of Minnewanka Landing. It starts with seeing a campfire, and then you see an animation of the town being built, and you hear sounds that make you think, oh, people are living in the houses, and then the beach house at Lake Minnewanka was burned down, so that one actually starts going up in flames, and then the water rises, and you get this real sense, like, as you're looking at the lake, that there is a town, or there was a town there. In Rouge, there's a station on the beach that relates to the Blandings turtles that live in Rouge Parks.
The turtle buries its eggs in the sand. The ability of its young to survive in this changing environment is one of the reasons this population is a threatened species.
That element of surprise, like you think you know a place and you think you know what you've learned about it, and then there's these things that become illuminated before your eyes. I think that's part of the thing that's interesting or surprising or magical about it. In the collaborative process of working with Moment Factory and the Banff Centre, we brought on some researchers, conducted interviews with community members, and from those interviews and additional research, we kind of built on the original idea and integrated it.
It was really important to include both sort of my own research and archival research, but also in-person conversation with those people who are actually working in that space on a day-to-day basis, or of course the 10 First Nations on the advisory circle at the Rouge Park, who all have traditional territory on that land.
I was trying to not privilege one history, but trying to look at as many as I possibly could, like finding one thing and then that would lead to this thing and then that would lead to this thing, and just constantly digging up all this information.
There's a real opportunity, especially with Rouge Park, to connect with all kinds of populations, urban populations who might not be sensitive necessarily to the nature that they're in. Think about the space we're in differently, or to think about it the way it could have been or was at some point.
Thinking going forward and looking after the planet and nature, it's good to have a solid grounding in what's come before and also what's happening now, and really get people thinking about, multiple narratives at each site, because there isn't just one narrative. There's many different perspectives.